Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Chad, bringing y'all another video, man. And in this video, I'm talking about Tyre Nichols. If you hadn't known, well, if there's no reason that you don't know about it, but Tyre Nichols has passed away due to the 5 police officers in Memphis beating him to death. Basically, the recent video footage has come out showing that they were just, I don't know what got into him that night, honestly. There's really no excuse for it, but, it did happen. Prayers go out to Tyre and his family, and just everybody involved in general, whether I agree with their actions or not. You got to pray for everybody, man, you do. But what I really want to talk about today is how I kind of see a hypocrisy when it comes to situations like this. So as we know, the footage came out, people were preparing for, mass riots everywhere and things like that. And to be honest, I don't know if people rioted or they didn't, but I didn't really see anybody riot like that. Like, the most I heard was like people were just upset, like, wow, police crazy, da da da. But there were no riots. And to me, it's like, it's such hypocrisy, because if all 5 of those officers were white, cities would be getting burned down and everything. Now, I'm not saying I condone rioting, but I'm saying if you feel that way, if all 5 of the police officers were white and they beat up that black boy, then you need to feel the same way about all 5 of the police officers being black, beating up the black boy. It shouldn't even make a difference. It should be 5 police officers, 5 black police officers, beat Tyre Nichols to death and they killed him. And you go outside and you go protest the riot and tear some stuff up. It's just like when things don't fit what the mass group narrative is, then it's like the opinions just completely change. Now, I will give the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe people didn't riot because the officers were automatically fired and they were already charged with 2nd-degree murder. But the thing about that is, even if they were fired or put on leave or charged with this and that, they haven't seen their court date yet, which everybody would say innocent until proven guilty, but we all know from the video what is up. So I'll just give the benefit of the doubt there and say maybe that's why people aren't rioting, but I still feel like just the principle of it, they should have rioted. You know what I mean? Just to be completely transparent with y'all. I'm not trying to get too far off subject, but like Trump and him having these classified documents, he's being raided by the FBI. Everybody's like, he needs to go to prison. It makes no sense he has these documents. Then it happens to Biden and everybody's just real quiet and they don't got nothing to say. Then they find him in more than one location. Then they find it inside, he had documents from when he was in the Senate, and there's really no excuse for him to have these documents. And everybody's quiet. There's literally no talk about it. Like, what happened to that? And that's kind of what I mean. Like, people pick and choose when to follow narratives and when not to, based on, race, gender, identity, any sort of thing. And I'm not trying to distract from Tyre Nichols' situation. I see it happening and I'm just like, this is how I know people aren't serious about the movements they're involved in. Because if Black Lives Matter, whether the police officers were white, whether the police officers were black, whether the police officers were Hispanic, Asian, you would have been rioting. Rightfully so. Am I lying? Like, somebody tell me am I lying? If those police officers were white, when the footage was released of him literally just punching this man while he's in cuffs, not doing anything, people would have taken to the street and destroyed cities non-stop, just like when George Floyd died. But because the police officers were black, it's something different going on. And I've even seen where, the news outlets or these people who are like race hustlers are coming out here saying that the black police officers did this and it's still because of white supremacy and racism. And it's like, what, bro? Like, where do y'all get this from? Like I said, I saw somebody on Twitter. They were like, I don't see people that upset that, Tyre Nichols died due to the 5 black police officers. And someone was like, we're not upset because it's policing that's actually the issue. It's the white supremacy. It's the foundation, the principles of policing. And like I tell you guys all the time on my channel, people say, police this, police that. Really, people just don't want the police. And that's okay. That's fine and dandy. But when the tough gets going and you need help, I don't know who's going to help you if we abolish the police, altogether. Another thing that I do know as well is that with any profession, any job, any group of people, besides your own individual, anytime it's a group of people, there are always going to be some bad apples. There are always going to be people who compromise what the ideal standard of that group should be. The ideal standard for police officers is you protect and serve, right? So you serve your community, you protect your community. We don't need to see videos come out of you beating up people that are in that community, killing people that you should be serving. We shouldn't see videos like that. But if you look, it happens in the teaching profession. We think that we send our kids to school to learn and get a good education, to be well-rounded individuals, to then go out into the real world and produce something of some quality or value. And we have teachers who push their own ideologies on people, who want to hurt kids, sleep with the kids, all sorts of things. So it's just like, there are going to be bad apples anywhere. Abolishing the stuff isn't going to fix the problem. The problem is you have individuals who think they're, I don't even know if you could say above the law, or they're power hungry or anything like that, because I truly don't know. But you just have some sick individuals in society, and it takes that one circumstance for them to dig into, that evil side of themselves and do things like this. But, I don't want to get too deep into all that. I'm just trying to show you guys the comparisons and, give you guys just my perspective on the whole thing, because, they said people were going to riot, people were going to protest. I watched the video. I was like, man, that's crazy. But I haven't seen any rioting, any protesting. I just see people saying that this is still rooted in white supremacy. This is, it has nothing to do with the black officers. This is racism, and they were learned off racist values, and police in general are the issue. And it's like, not all police are like that, bro. You guys need to take to the streets and protest Black Lives Matter, riot, and because I keep saying it, if Black Lives Matter, you would be protesting off any black life that was lost. But clearly they don't. It has to fit a narrative. I feel like most stuff is a psyop. Not talking about Tyre Nichols, because like I said, it is sad that he had to pass away due to this situation, but it's like people are in a mental psyop where they can't see past anything that doesn't fit a narrative. If it doesn't fit their narrative, then they're kind of just like, oh, this doesn't exist, things are different for this, one situation, or it's actually something completely different. Like, they just take the accountability out. They act confused, like the NPCs, their updates aren't updated. They update it and they can't figure out what to do with the firmware. But when it fits the narrative, all hell breaks loose. But anyways, man, that's kind of my thoughts on the situation. Like I said, prayers go out to Tyre Nichols and his family, everyone involved, even for the police officers, that did beat him to death. Like I said, we just got to pray for everybody, whether we agree with them or not, whether they're our enemies or not. And as always, thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Chad, and I'm out. Peace.